Hey, beautiful people, welcome to the third show. I think you know who I am. You probably think I'm Troy because we both got a beard, but I'm really not. I'm Schmidt. Troy is taking a break because he has a
No, he's
glass
not. No,
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 no.
that's not.
Troy
We're
is
not
taking a
doing that.
break. Troy is taking a break
Why are you
from
lying to the people?
Troy. You cannot finish. Troy
Go
is
ahead. I'm
taking
sorry. Go ahead.
Troy. This was part of our pre-show that we say he's not here. He's no longer with us, but he is with us. Troy is, as you can obviously hear, is with us. He's taking a break from the introduction because
No.
he has to tend to his glass that he has in front of him, and his beard is bothering him today. So
First of all,
we're
for
going to let
everybody
him
who's seen this
handle.
show before,
We're going to
we
let
all
him handle
know.
that. Welcome to the third show. My good brother Shannon's here. As you can hear, good brother Troy is here. Our good sister B is somewhere in the world. We just really don't know where. She's moving and grooving, making things happen with her phenomenal video work. We do have a special in, I wouldn't call it in studio, but I guess it's kind of in home guest today, Miss Lovely Sarah, and her cat and her wonderful background looks like something out of Hemingway's The Odyssey. I don't know if Hemingway wrote The
He
Odyssey.
didn't like the Odyssey.
Okay,
No.
but it sounded
It was
great.
Homer.
Homer Simpson wrote The Odyssey.
Yeah.
So you can find Homer on Fox talking about The Odyssey with his people.
Wow, we're
okay,
not. Don't give them a plug. We ain't sponsored by Fox.
I didn't say that. Oh, my bad. I didn't. You got so anyway. Before we got some things we're going to get into this
See, this is
evening.
why I do the intros. Go ahead.
This is why I don't do the intros because I go everywhere. Before we get into our hot topics tonight, I want you to know that we have a really good YouTube channel, and you should subscribe to us because we're not just three black men talking. We actually provide solutions. We challenge you to expand your mind and your horizons and where we're going to go. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram as a collective unit, Undivided. All three of us individually have our own little sites of what we're trying to accomplish in this world that are doing amazing things for the community. I have to shea. That's shea butter. I have to shea butter because we might need a sponsor for good brother Troy's head, some shea butter. So shea butter, if you want to sponsor
on my
with us. But no, real talk.
I'm just saying.
Good brother Troy got a lot of wonderful things going on in the community that he helped some veterans. So does the good brother Shannon. Shannon got some things going on where he just kind of helps everybody in the entire world. So again, it's just an honor for me to sit here. And Troy, thank you for letting me take over the show today. Shannon, I know you want to say something, touch on some of the shows we had. So good, bro, chime in and start the show off right like you know how. Shots fired. 1, 2, 3, duck.
1, 2, 3. Here we are once again,
Wow.
people. All the people. Yeah. Wow. You know what? And I love my brothers to death. We have that brotherly love, even though one of them gets he gets right up under my skin at times because I can't yank the beard from his face. I don't. Yeah. Always want to rub yourself. That's the problem. But
well, you know,
for that, yeah.
Hey, let's stay on track.
When you
let's
diss,
stay on track.
it's okay.
Yeah. Let's stay on track. We left our last show off with mental health issues, and thanks to our good brother Smith, he brought up the topic, and it left a lot of questions out there for people. So I do want to open that forum back up because the one question that was posed this week by one of our viewers is, even though we know there's mental health issues in the community out there, especially among Black men, what's the trauma that the Black male faces, the Black father faces, having explained to his child how to deal with cops?
Wow.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Troy?
Smitty?
Okay. So.
Oh, you want me to say something? My bad. No.
No.
You want me to start? You just saying my name. So
Well, you kind of said,
it is.
you kind of said, huh, like you was going to initiate a conversation, and
Well,
that
I
goes
said
back to the
for two
that,
reasons. For two
that goes
reasons.
back to our
Can I
conversation
finish?
we and you had on the phone the other day when you called me, Shannon. I didn't even tell you this, but you cannot start
That was a
something
whole
and
other
not
thing.
finish it. So when you
Okay.
cleared your throat, I'm like, oh, he's about to talk.
So can I go, or are we gonna keep going through this? Okay, cool.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So I cleared my throat for two reasons. One, that was a heck of a first topic to have Sarah on the show. But two, it's important. We have.
Sarah's Italian.
I have no idea how that connects, but I get you.
They got just as enough problems as black folks.
They do, yeah. Well, yeah. I used to date this Italian chick too, with papers and everything.
Yeah, well done.
And her family was nuts. Could cook,
most
though.
Most are.
Could cook. Her dad was one of the nicest and one of the greatest men I've ever met in my life. He was, when you talk about just a genuinely nice person, he was amazing. Amazing.
That's what they say about most killers.
Yeah, that's exactly what they say.
I'm not. Yes, that's why everybody likes Shannon.
There you go.
So it is that in itself is a trauma that is hard to even understand if you're not a black man. And that's one of the things that Shannon and I were actually on a Zoom call earlier today, and we were talking about groups and why do we actually need them. And I made the point, we do need them, definitely for this reason, because I can't sit and explain to Sarah and have her understand what it means to be a black man and have to tell his son, when you get pulled over by the police, don't try to say nothing, be compliant, be as easygoing as you possibly can, and understand, because she wouldn't get it. Just like I wouldn't understand what she couldn't explain to me about what it would mean to be sexually harassed as a woman, and discriminated against as a woman. So we do need groups. And just for that alone, for this topic alone, it's hard for people to actually understand what that you're actually telling your son to step down from being a man. And there's nothing to convey that feeling. Even saying it, right. I got a lump in my throat. But you have to have him understand that depending on that police officer's mood, your life could be in danger. And sometimes it's okay just to back down a little bit. But it's a tough conversation. It's a tough conversation that to even understand is hard. Yeah.
Guaranteed, we are all fathers.
Yes. Well, except for Sarah.
Except for Sarah. All right.
Yeah.
So.
And we don't know that. We cannot confirm or deny that. So, Sarah.
Right. So.
Not a father.
For face value today, you're not a father. Go ahead.
Okay. So all three of us black men have had to have that conversation with our sons. Am I right?
Yeah.
Facts.
So. Yeah. And I don't want to get away from it because it is a touchy situation to where people of color know what we experience, but the rest don't. And then because I'm about to take this topic in, because I do have to shoot shots at somebody. And I already told Troy I was shooting shots.
Yeah.
Because our community needs to be aware of there being an open seat and they're running for election, but they need to also know just because they look like us don't mean that they're one of us. I don't care if they are 6'4". Birds of a feather flock together in my insight. And when you hanging with Mitch Mashburn, Roy Stockton, you got a vanilla flavored Oreo sitting right here in front of you.
Shots
A
fired.
vanilla flavored
Shots
Oreo.
fired. Shots fired. Shots fired.
Ow, that was deep. That was different.
You know, here, you know, man, again, the mental aspect of that, the trauma, the PTSD, whatever you want to call it. You know, I love how Troy stated it. We're already indirectly putting on our sons to devalue themselves as a man because we want them to get home safely. You know, the ironic and not a shocker, but the crazy thing about this is nothing new in the Black community, in the Latino community, some parts of the Asian community, because there's some ruthless Asians out there. This is nothing new, police brutality. Remember in 88, was it 87, when NWA came out and everybody thought, oh my God, this is brand new. No, brand
Nope.
new. You know, what happens is things are brought to light and now more people are introduced to it and they see it. So George Floyd, Trayvon Martin, these things aren't new to the Black community. Like we speak on them there every show. We can't forget these names. And the list goes on. Before the civil rights movement, before we were getting sprayed with hoses and blown up in our houses by hooded white men who were so much of a coward that they had to put a hood on. Black men in the Black community have been getting executed. Yeah, I use that word, executed, by law enforcement since the beginning of law enforcement. That's why law enforcement was created. So what happened was, over the course of time, it became a norm. And we didn't have the digital age. So white America just turned their back and say, oh, that was just some nigga acting an ass and we deserve that. Now, in this, you get NWA saying what they went through and what every other Black man in Chicago, Little Rock, Arkansas, all of these places. Now, you get the pandemic, which forced everyone to be home in the entire world. Let that sink in. It forced everyone to sit home in their entire world and watch their TV or watch their phone or their laptop. And by chance, in a pandemic, a Black man was executed by a white law enforcement officer, and you had no choice but to watch it. Now you have white folks saying, oh, maybe this shit does happen. It does happen, and it's been happening. That's why we have these mental illnesses, because you motherfuckers wouldn't listen to us. Now, hopefully you can see.
Wait, can we actually say that they say, well, and this is because we know this has always been taking place. And,
no, it is. Yeah.
And so can we say that these white people are just now being aware of this? They're not.
No.
They're not. But because honestly, I think in my sight, correct me if I'm wrong, but as we all know, even with us three, you're better with us than to go against us. And when you have a group mentality like that, isn't it better to jump on the bandwagon than stay at home and get your ass kicked?
Right? Absolutely. Stay at home.
So hey, I gotta be honest.
Well, you know what, and we have to also come with the honesty of this is to, if it wasn't for the pandemic, a lot of these things that have happened wouldn't have been getting the same attention.
No.
And we wouldn't be, and I can really say, we wouldn't be in a state of quote unquote, and I don't like this word, but wokeness, if it wasn't for the pandemic, where we have been forced to say, you know what, this is our life. We can't go nowhere. So we're being actually forced to pay attention to television, to social media, a whole lot more.
Dude, but you can't say they're woke. you can't say they're woke. Don't
No,
we?
no,
That's the
no,
way.
no. I'm not saying that they're. I don't like the word because I think it's ridiculous. Because right now, I think a lot of people have. Get this analogy: have been woken up sleepwalking,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and when you're all of a sudden you don't know really what's going on, you got to take a minute to kind of figure things out. They tell you don't wake up a person if they sleepwalking because you don't know how they're gonna wake up.
Mm-hmm.
I think the world has let this pandemic wake up a lot of people, and you didn't know what was going to happen. Now you got three brothers on the show.
Right. Yeah.
Can I
Now
jump
you,
in?
now,
Facts.
oh,
Do
please
you
go
mind?
ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah.
No, no, no. That's why. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to make a comment because I think that was really prescient. And so I work with a couple of organizations. One of them is called Surge, which is standing up for racial justice. And we try to deprogram and create communities of white people who are anti-racist and actively anti-racist. And one of the things that we call it is being asleep at the wheel. It's like you kind of know what's going on and you kind of feel it, but it doesn't affect you because you're not awake. You're just sort of going.
Yeah.
And once you do wake up to it, and I just like the woke word, but I think it's a good analogy. Once you kind of wake up to it, and I think this is what happened a lot last summer, is that it's just everywhere and you're so surprised. And then it's so omnipresent that you feel the need to talk about it all the time. And obviously for you guys, this is nothing new. And so it becomes like an emotional labor of a Black person to explain to a white person the thing that they've been experiencing in their community for so many years. And
Yeah.
so anti-racist white folks and anti-racist education sort of tries to create that barrier from keeping you guys from having to do all of that emotional labor. And I think it's just like the, asleep at the wheel thing. And I think it's kind of funny because I was just reading something, someone was talking about brunch and how people have left the resistance and gone back to brunch because we've, gone through this whole election cycle. And now we have someone supposedly who is an ally in the White House. And, people sort of feel like they can resettle back in. And Trump was sort of also one of those impetuses for change also. And so it's like these sort of shock and awe where like the shock happens and everyone kind of freaks out. And then, all the companies talk about supporting Black business and influencers do their thing. And then it just kind of all fades back again. And I think we're in one of those phases where it's all fading back again. And I think one of the biggest struggles is to not let it fade again for white folks, is to keep it front and present, obviously without causing violence to the Black community.
You know
Ladies
what?
and gentlemen, Sarah Palmagano, if you need her.
Palomino.
Palestino. Look. You know what? We have to demonstrate
But
that.
that's why we have Shannon saying, he has his own personal segment at the end of every show to make sure these names don't go away.
Right.
And for that reason, for specifically that reason, we're getting back to, I was just reading something. I was watching TV. What was it? Last month, there was 916,000 new jobs. Everybody's starting to get back into the swing of things. Everything is opening up. But that doesn't mean that these real issues go away. These real issues are going to be here. And it's up. And thank you. I want to say thank you personally for making sure that there are groups who are making sure that these messages that are getting put out continuously gets put out because it's important.
You know what? While you said everything is opening back up, I think, and we already have spoke about this once before. Don't let society fool you into this trickery when it comes to COVID. While things are opening back up and you guys want to go out there on spring break, act a fool party, go run with your friends. I got to get drunk. Guess what? You're going to end your ass up in the hospital. I don't wish that on nobody, but everything going to close right back up.
Oh, it is. Oh, wait till spring break is over, bro. Wait till spring break is over. And all these people come back. Oh, with Easter. Oh, they think everything is fine and dandy. Mm-hmm.
And all the new variants, like Valley Church is having their Easter services at the DeVille. That can't possibly be safe. And how many of those folks are vaccinated? How many of those folks are social distancing and wearing masks? Like, it's going to be another spike.
I don't want to lose focus on what Shannon brought up, but I do value what each one of you are saying as far as COVID and young folks and this, that, and the third. And it's not even young folks, just human beings and all are going to
Yeah.
be befuddled. But really, I just want to just really kind of stay on that topic about the mental health issue and what Black folks go through, especially men, because as I spoke before about the mental health of ourselves, of who we are, you know, and again, Troy said it, we cannot say it enough. We cannot articulate, we cannot paint a picture for you to understand what it takes out of you as a human being to have to tell your son who you love, who you have told since he was little, he can be anything in this world, to tell him, hey, you get pulled over, I need you to shut your mouth. I need you to keep your hand. I don't need you to do anything. But we constantly tell him you can do anything. Now, just if you don't understand the dichotomy of those two entities as a Black man, there's nothing that you can understand how that affects us. And then you know, it's so many layers to what we deal with as Black men. You can talk about imprisonment. That's a fact. But the proponents of prisons and law enforcement will quickly say, well, they deserve it. How many people are in jail because of some false charges? You know?
Oh no. Well, no. What is it, Smitty? If a white dude gets caught with drugs, it's an epidemic. If a Black dude gets caught with drugs, it's a crime spree.
It's a spree, you know?
So yeah.
And again, that goes back to Shannon's original question about the mental aspect of where we are. We are trying to play a game that is constantly creating new rules every inning. We can't win. And if you have that in you, we can't win, then what do you expect our mental state to be? You know?
Yes.
So
you know what? You know, not to cut you off real, because you just brought something up. And Smith, I know, matter of fact, I know your wife seen the post I put on our page. James Earl Jones was in a government office. And I think him and his girlfriend at the time were about to get married. And keep in mind, this is back, say, late 60s, early 70s. But this film, it just dictated what you said. We can't win, and we've never been able to win because of the way they have the system set up and designed. And in this one scene, he said in the welfare office, if I marry her, you won't give her no food stamps. Then he came back and he said, but if I live with her, you need to know this and know that, and then you're going to charge me and I can get in trouble.
Yeah. But if I leave her,
yeah.
But if I leave her, you'll give her everything that she wants.
Right.
Yeah. And it's our system, and people have a way of taking things that you say and turning that whole narrative around.
Absolutely. Everything
that's going on right now has been continually going on since the dawn of ages.
Yes, sir.
Racism isn't new. This civil rights isn't new. Civil rights was back before the 60s.
Yeah.
And it's still going on now. Jim Crow has evolved. And it keeps evolving step by step. You have all these scholars out there, all these people with doctors. They say this, they say that. They put out statements. This thing with the Asian community. You have everybody rushing. We need to put out a statement. You know what? And this goes to everybody, even our city council members. The hell with a statement. Statements ain't gonna make nobody feel good. What took place with that lady in New York? Yes, it was wrong. I wholeheartedly. You know what was the worst part of it all? Every last one that stood around and watched it happen are nothing but a bunch of cowards in my book.
I mean, this
was a defenseless woman. You want to know why Black men have traumas? Why Hispanic men have traumas? It's because of what this system, I won't even call it systemic racism. I'll call it this system that was already devised by European criminals.
It's a blueprint. It's a blueprint to keep the elite, the elitists, you know, and it has, you know what? I mean, I might lose some folks right here. I might lose some folks, but at the very base, it really ain't got nothing to do with color. Color just happened to be a valuable commodity to throw in there. You know, really, it's just keeping the less than 5% fighting and arguing with one another over basic necessities, and then you add in this glorious fuel of color, and now that shit just turns into an inferno, you know, because who doesn't want to feel like they're the most bestest in the whole wide world? You know, look at me, I'm black and I'm in charge. Look at me, I'm white and I'm in charge. But I ain't got nothing more than this black person has, but I'm white. You know, that is the base of modern civilization. And that, like Shannon said, this civil rights shit ain't new. This goes back to kings and queens in the Neo age, and all of this, you know.
Do you guys?
Go ahead, sir.
Sorry.
Go ahead,
do you guys know where the term white supremacy came from? It's exactly what Edward was talking about. The Bacon's Rebellion happened.
Hold on. Just real quick, just Smitty.
Sorry.
Just
I'm sorry, Smitty. I was looking at the name.
You seen the Geico commercial with the Kimbe Mutombo?
Yes.
No.
Okay, yeah, my apologies. If we were in a bar, I would buy the next round. My apologies for that one. So where white supremacy came from is Bacon's Rebellion, which I believe predated the Civil War, post-Civil War, it was poor immigrants, indigenous folks, and Black people were all working together, and the government created white supremacy to give white people like a tiny little bit more rights above everyone else.
Yeah.
And they didn't have to do anything. They didn't have to go out and say, you know, Black people are bad or whatever. They just had to tell white people that they had a tiny bit more rights, and they put their boots on Black people's necks totally out of their own volition. It had.
And Sarah, that is awesome. And you know, and that's why, and I don't know if you've seen the show that we did where I said I won't use words like that, because we continue to use the word supremacy or supreme, then you keep throwing it out there and enforcing it by saying the word. We can't say that. It's not a white supremacy. You're a terrorist organization. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? You'll never hear me say that, because I'm not going to keep watering that plant. And we need to stop saying it as a people. There's no such thing as supremacy from any race.
You know what? And this is something I paid attention to. And not to get so far off subject, but we do need to talk about it. People in this community, everybody you tagged in your post, let's believe. I waited to see how many people actually responded to your post. Smitty is diehard. If I could be as diehard as he is when it comes to attending city council meetings, if I had the time, anytime I have the time available, I'm there. But this brother is always there. This week here in Vacaville, Smitty was there. It didn't get riled up like other city council meetings, maybe because there's not enough going on, but the issues he brought up. Me and Troy just spoke about it yesterday with traffic. I got to give a shout out to Noah. He actually spoke up and said that we need to go in and see if we can meet halfway with these land developers. We have all these developmental agencies coming in here. This is to do harm to our community. Not one mention of low-income housing anywhere. We have a homeless problem. Not one issue. But then on the other end of that spectrum, and this is where Troy always says, pay attention, get out there and vote. They trying to sneak somebody in on you guys and thinking that you will vibe with them. people need to wake up and see. You have one that never really officially denounced he was a 3%er. And we heard the sheriff's comments about that. And then you have Mitch Mashburn, who he's did all kind of stuff here. He's upset not only the Black community, but the Hispanic community as well.
Well, Shannon, everything you're saying is it fortifies and reinforces our earlier conversations today. Because if you have a sitting, we're not talking retired or many years ago, but if you have a sitting council member in any city, and you have a sheriff who is elected by the people, and they openly support terrorist organizations, that adds to the mental drain of Black folks, because then we have to think, what the hell are they doing for us? They're supporting 3%ers. I can't be safe. I cannot.
They can't be out
safe.
here for us. Can't be.
They can't be out here for us. So that just fortifies why we suffer PTSD because of just living. Because there's no one out there telling us, hey, Black man, it's going to be okay. They're not saying that. They're saying, we don't know that they support these people. Motherfucker, there's a picture right there.
Troy, you still have young kids. Ask your youngest child if they still suffer. Because, and I'm not being funny, we suffer from the day we come from the womb. And that mother suffers.
Well,
and the reason I say this
really
is any woman, it may be a beautiful thing to a lot of people, but any woman always goes through trauma, because it's the only time in their life that when they give birth, they actually lose a part of themselves. It's life and death at the same time. It's a conception that nobody ever put together, but it is there.
Shannon just went all the way deep on you. That's why we love him. That's why our show is so phenomenal and the hottest show. You just died and was born at once.
I want to stay focused on what we're talking about right now, but you best believe we coming back to that. I don't even, yeah. Anyway.
So talking about mental health, would you guys be interested in creating a Black men's mental health fund in Vacaville?
Hell yes.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah. I'll be the first one to say I'm crazy.
Okay. On that, one thing we have to start saying, and Smitty, you were saying it, and I want to correct you on that. It's not PTSD because there's nothing post about it.
I got you. You're right.
You see, we can call it ATSD because it's completely active.
Active. I love it.
It is completely, we go through this every single day where it's something that we have to deal with. We have to, and the bad part about us three, we are looking at things differently than most because we're active in our community. So we're looking how things are developing. We're looking how things are being affected by different decisions. So we carry just that much more, trauma because we know, there's a difference between blindly just seeing things, but then knowing exactly what we're seeing.
Do you want to talk about mental, like withdrawal and drain, and for Black men in particular? I know I made a couple statements in the past, and then Troy jumped on me when I said, "Yeah, you got your big Ford 350 lifted with a gun rack."
I didn't jump on you for that.
We paint a picture.
Funny.
You paint a picture of the person driving that truck. You don't see a 5'2" Asian in your mind driving that truck. Our brains, we haven't been infiltrated with that, and so as Black men, we fit the description. No matter what the person on the run or the suspect looks like, we fit the description. We fit the description. Goes back to they all look alike. It all goes back to they look alike because that was an easy way to just get some black man and then terrorize the rest of the community by making a show of this black person that this can happen to you. So if you just follow some shit, you'll understand the mental toll that it takes on us. And I just want to share this really quick because it takes a toll on myself. And like Shannon's with the whole death and being born, I can never understand what a woman goes through. But I do understand this. I came up in the age of AIDS and crack. And from the time I was 12, all I can remember is I was supposed to be murdered by another black man before I was 21. I took that shit with me I wore it on my back. I carried it through my life up until I was 21. Went to school, went to the movies, went to the mall, went wherever, looking around, making sure I don't get off by another black man. What kind of mental shit is that to put on a person? All right?
To put on a 12-year-old.
To put on a 12-year-old, right? Now I have children. Now I gotta tell them, man, I don't need you, because now they 16. They got a license. So at 16, I'm putting that same shit on them. I don't want you murdered by the police. So I need you to tuck tail. How can a man tell his son to tuck tail and still feel like a man? Understand how deep this mental game go.
Can I say something that you guys might not like?
Say it.
Please.
So I think part of it is taking like the being a man aspect out of it, and just from a very young age, nurturing emotions in children. Every community, but I think especially like the Black community, because of all it's I think it's called CTSD, which is continuing trauma stress disorder. It actually shortens your life by a ton. It makes your health problems worse, which obviously compound when it comes to financial stuff because then your medical care becomes more expensive. There's a couple studies that I've read about that specifically within Black communities. And I think a lot of it has to be around like, it's okay to be scared. It's okay to show emotion, because a lot of what is with the CTSD is keeping it inside. It's keeping that fear inside, and not addressing it and not talking about it and not having it, out in communities. There's another thing with the anti-racist work that I do is saying like, look, people are terrified 24/7. This isn't just, this isn't just like, oh, they're Black. This is like a whole situation that they deal with every day. And I think a lot of that is on white people to have those conversations and to create a more nurturing community. And then again, I think a lot of it is about community. Like here in Vacaville, everyone has fences. Like, hey, Sarah, we need to let each other in more.
Hold on, right, before you go, because last show we actually touched on of how actually that was part of one of the segments that we had was how Black men and men in general need to actually be okay with telling each other that, hey, I love you. Opening up and showing each other that being a man isn't, you don't have to try to be the hardest all the time. You don't got to be tough all the time. In this context, we are using that simply because that's what we are being given.
Right. I totally understand. It's not, I'm not saying this from a negative perspective. I'm just saying more just along the lines of like, if you kind of, it's like creating the space where it's okay to be scared, it's okay to talk about it, and sharing those feelings and those emotions is, I think, the thing that's going to help with the CTSD, because it's still out there. It's still this horrific thing that you have to deal with until we fix the system, which the system isn't broken, it's operating as it should, so we need to dismantle it. But that's a long way off, unfortunately.
Thank you. Actually, thank you for saying that, though.
Hey, Sarah is like showing her inner Angela Davis right now. So
I was thinking the same thing right there.
That's the best compliment I have ever received.
She is. She's on her Angela Davis right now.
Hey, Sarah is more Black
right now if she could.
Sarah has more contact and talks more pro-Black than some of these so-called Black leaders around town. So shots fired again. You know who you are.
You know you are.
It's bad when a white man dominates you at a question about African American issues. Let's be real.
Right.
You know what? And honestly, so Sarah, I can tell you, because and they can take it as a shot fired, but it's true. we have all these organizations that say they're for the Black community. And I'll tell you right now, honestly, 1, 2, 3 of them, I would rather have you sitting next to me any day of the week than any 3 of them. And I'll tell you, my 2 brothers, well, 4. Yeah, 4. Yeah, 4. Because I don't want to forget, we have all these issues in the Black community and we have no unity. But yet we constantly run around and say Black Lives Matter. And then we got other people to jump on the bandwagon. If Black lives really matter, start uniting and helping your brother and sister. Stop running around here and being against him. You know, work together.
Shannon, I gotta say, you right, but then you wrong. I'd rather have a out front, open and honest, racist bigot sitting on city council instead of a scary ass Uncle Tom Coon. Because you really don't know what you're getting from him. He the one that gonna come over to your house and bring bean pie, but in the bean pie is rat poison. You see what I'm saying? So
I agree with you. I agree with you on that. But at the same time, I'm tired of everybody jumping around saying Black Lives Matter. Oh. We need to make that. Yeah, we need to make it happen.
That's easy, low hanging fruit to say, oh, Black Lives Matter, because no one knows. You know, most of the white folks that say that don't even know Black people. It just sounds good to say.
Well, you can't argue that.
You can't.
You know what I mean?
Or they tell you, or they come back and tell you, I got family look just like you.
Oh, that's
sake. Classic. You know?
Wait. What did you say, Sarah?
I just said, for God's sake, I can't deal with people with the whole like, oh, my best friend is Black. Like, we get it, it's fine, but like that doesn't matter. Like, that's not part of this conversation.
I'm sorry. What was it yesterday? So, oh, well, you know, hey, I married a Black woman, so I understand you guys' fight.
Right. No, you don't. No, you don't. And I think that is interesting. I think that is interesting because, again, there's so many layers to what we're trying to unravel here. I mean, we talk about this mental drain that Black men go through. And again, I'm not saying this happens in every single household, but throughout the course of our existence, you know, you can see some of it. If you have a mixed family, white and Black, that's the easiest to say. And the white parent isn't having that conversation with the Black children, specifically male children, then you can understand where we get some of these people from who want to say that doesn't exist, that doesn't happen. Yeah. So let's move on. You know,
there's also the social currency of proximity to whiteness, right? Like, absolutely. It's easier to get in power if you have proximity to whiteness. And I think also a lot of those folks end up betraying their Blackness because they're fighting so hard for that proximity.
So you know what? That's where they lose it.
Yeah,
it is. You lose who you are because you fighting who you are.
That is so absolutely incredible because it makes a point. It makes a point in this world, and it goes back to what I said earlier about they don't give a shit what color you are, as long as we all fighting amongst another. It's just they threw that race card in there to double down and do the deuces a wild kind of thing on us, you know. But the crazy part is this, and this is facts. It's never happened yet, but one day when this pandemic is over, we can all hang out. It's going to happen. Me, Troy, and Shannon can be hanging out together. I can guarantee you, all eyes will be on Shannon because he's the darkest of us 3. I hate that shit, but it's facts. When I hang out with my cousins who are obviously a lot darker than I am, they get eyeballs on them, and that shit bothers me. And hold on, white America, it ain't just you. It's our own folks who do it to us. Right. It's our own folks who do it to us. See, so you want to talk about mental drain? The mental drain comes from every angle. It's not just from white folks. It's a mental drain from our own community. It's a mental drain from existing. Shit.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what? It starts at such an early age with our children. And people don't realize it. When it comes to education, our children have to work 3 to 4 times harder than their white counterpart to succeed, to be successful. If they're being taught the same thing, explain to me why I need to put in extra work just so I can get the same damn grade.
Well, tell me this, Shannon. Tell me this. I mean, you know that I just, I thought out there for other people to ponder also.
Right.
But how can you be an 11th grader? How can you be 11th grader and 70 credits short? How did the school allow that to happen? That's inconceivable. And that happens every day and every year to
it happens every day
of color.
It happens every day to children of color. But, and I do have to go back. We have to hold every single party in that accountable, from the school to the parents.
Correct.
And you've heard me say before, if your child fails in school, don't sit up here and put blame on that school. Put blame
Absolutely.
on your damn self for not knowing what your child is doing.
Absolutely.
Not checking their homework, not being a responsible parent. But nowadays we have millennials.
Mm-hmm.
And they believe it's okay. And no offense to you, Sarah, no offense, but we have a lot of millennials out there who haven't experienced life.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know, and they don't know what it's like, as Smitty said, to grow up black. I'll share with you. I seen a person get a noose put around their neck. I seen a person get drugged. I've seen all kind of stuff in my lifetime. And I've been in cities where it's still segregated today. Wisconsin, Milwaukee, a prime example, very segregated. Will this ever change? Probably not.
Very segregated.
Very
Go take
segregated.
a drive down Buck Avenue. See who lives over there. Okay. Go take a drive down Tim Road and English Hills Road and see who lives out there.
Yeah.
So when city councils, not just in Vacaville, I'm talking anywhere USA, talk about, we're not segregated. That's a damn lie. Every single town is segregated. Just look. All you have to do is take a drive.
And we need to stop that. You know what? We need to actually stop that, honestly. And yes, I keep going back to this person. I'm going to eventually mention the damn name. Maybe we need to just have him on the show. Honestly, I think we need to bring him on the show.
Oh,
his name is, what is his name? He got the whitest name ever, Richie.
Oh,
Greg Ritchie.
Greg Ritchie. So yeah, let's bring him.
Look here. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna keep it all the way 1,000. He ain't coming on here. he ain't gonna come on here willingly. I mean, we can ask him. He ain't gonna come on here. He's not gonna come on here.
We can ask him?
Take a shot every time he says he's a 6'4" black man.
Let's ask him.
Yeah, he said, you know what? He said,
hold on. Sarah, what'd you say?
I said take a shot every time he says he's a 6'4" black man.
Hey,
there you go.
I don't understand. You know what? Let me say this again, because I know we talked about it before on our show. If you have to say, I'm from the hood, then you're probably not from the hood. No. If you have to, people know you from the hood just through understanding if you was raised in the hood. If you have to repeatedly announce your presence of your statuesque body,
you don't have no presence.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. What are you standing on?
So,
have you guys watched his first?
Real quick,
oh, sorry.
One thing.
Go ahead, Troy.
Real quick.
Troy, we can't hear you, good bro.
Troy, we can barely hear you.
You can't hear me?
Can I say one thing while he's figuring out his audio?
Yeah, please.
Did you guys watch his first campaign video?
Nope.
Yes, I did.
Nope.
Okay, so he says in that video that he asked people what the good side of town was.
Yeah.
What is that? It was like the strange, if you want to serve the community, like you should serve the whole community. If you ask people where the good side of town is, you shouldn't be sitting on the dais. In my
Absolutely. No,
But
you
you know
that's
what?
great.
You know what really, I guess what really got me with him is that you've been around for years. And this not even the fact that you're a Republican, you know. Yeah, I think
He's actually a registered Democrat. I apologize for knowing that, but I do.
Yeah.
no, it's cool.
Yeah. But you know, you come out and here's the trickery here. So he's allowed people to get around him and influence him. And yes, he grew up here. I wouldn't expect anything less that I see out of him because this is Vacaville. It's Cowtown, good old boy town, you know. So that's what he grew up with. So that's what he knows.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is, before you pronounce that you're a 6'4" black man, do you even know the definition of what it means to be a black man? Apparently he doesn't, because he's talking about he supports law enforcement and we can all work together and we need to bring people to Vacaville. Nobody wants to come to Vacaville because it's quote unknown to a lot, or quote as I shall say when I first heard it, this is Crackerville. Every corner, every time I go out, I can't count on one hand how many black cops I see. I see a bunch of white cops though, and they always up to no good.
I don't know how to say this right, but I have to say it because it's really bothering me. And Sarah, you might want to just close your ears and
Mute it for a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, you might want to close your ears.
Yes.
Give me like 10 seconds, and when I do the peace sign, jump back in.
You can come on.
But I have to say it because this is who we are, and these are facts. Running for any office
Oh, Jesus.
and announcing to the public, oh, I'm this big, is basically saying, if you was a pimp, I got a big penis. What in the hell does that have to do with anything? Okay, Sarah, you can come back on now. You can come back on there.
Whoa.
You're kidding yourself if you think I didn't listen to that,
Yeah.
but that's true. I think from his perspective, obviously I don't want to speak for him, but when he says it in context, it feels like he's saying he knows that he's intimidating.
Right.
Like, oh, he's.
But he's not. He's not. He looked like a black fat doughboy.
He ain't
Pillsbury
coming on now for sure.
Not after that.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie.
If we had a shot, that right there killed it.
Well, hey, straight to the bow. That went straight to the bow.
Boom. Oh, no, he ain't coming. Cool.
You saw my battleship.
You know what? It's no secret. I talk about everybody. Don't care. They know.
It's all good.
So, but he's not intimidating. All I'm saying is he's not intimidating. So what you 6'4"? It doesn't matter. All I see, it ain't like you 6'4" and you built more like a box or something.
Maybe he's just reminding himself.
Okay. I need to bring it back a little bit.
Yeah, well, let's come on back.
But wait,
Just real quick.
Sarah, you watched the video, right?
Oh, Jesus.
I've watched many.
Okay, well, he states he's 6'4". He's a 6'4" black man. And then he goes to a picture of him when he was in high school and younger. He didn't show a picture of him now. He was in a wife beater in high school and he was young.
I don't know if you guys caught People's Forum, the Vacaville People's Forum. We had a forum, he was on it. I think he said it like a half dozen times. And one of the other admin made a joke that like if you took a shot every time he said that, you would be dead by the end of the forum.
Pretty much.
Well, and that was his thing. He had to say where he was from, how he grew up, and there was that whole forum was very argumentative between the two of them.
No, I love Alice Freed. She's my favorite person.
That goes back to the mentality that I have to sell myself because people don't see me who I am. So
Yeah.
it just keeps saying, oh, well, my mother's black. Oh, my mother's black. Oh, my mother's black. Oh, my mother's black.
So
Oh,
I'm
my
black,
mother's
right?
black.
Yeah.
And yet
Oh,
he
yeah, we
attacked a black woman for having an opinion. I was like, what are you
He did.
doing?
Yeah,
I don't
he did.
understand.
He's
So,
very, to be such this get along, completely affable, large black man, as he likes to portray himself. He's very combative.
he is very combative. So, but you know what?
Shaq
Like-
is 7 feet tall. He does not run around yelling to people, I'm 7 feet tall. I'm 7 feet tall.
Yeah, you know what's
anyway,
so you know what's so bad,
thing.
Troy, you know what's so bad
What?
is because I think after this show goes up and airs, yeah, I'm gonna remind everybody real quick. Smitty's the PR, so
Anything you gotta say, call him.
Please, please call me. Please call me.
after they're going to be plotting as always. Well,
Okay.
and then again, may not. We know, and Sarah, I don't know if you, I know you watched our show. I made some comments about Roy Stockton.
Oh, I have heard.
Yeah, so and it's no secret, but my whole premise of this,
You got
all
a
during your
premise?
campaign, you never posted a Bible verse anywhere. After
Oh,
I made my comments, all your posts now are biblical. What happened?
You
Did
know,
you?
Didn't I tell you earlier that this was personal?
facts.
No, all facts. All facts.
Again, facts hurt. Facts hurt. And that's why Troy always says to own it. You just own whatever you are or who you are, just own it. You
It
know,
just makes it easier.
we can't, you can't dispute facts. That's what I love about us as a group, as individuals and on this show. I don't, we might make the occasional misstep and say the wrong thing, but 98% of our shit is actual facts. There's no arguing it. Now, if you don't like the way we say it, because we've been told that, then you know what? That's on you. And that's totally fine. Go listen to somebody else that'll kiss your ass and candy coat it for you if that's how you like it. But that's not how you gonna get it here. And us again to say all that, to keep it where we at this mental level. This is mental therapy for me when I get to talk on the show with my two brothers, because we talk about things that's relevant. We talk about things that's history, but you can see how they're relevant still. We talk about that history and that relevance is going to carry over into tomorrow if we don't act upon it now. So my mental anxieties and my concerns, this is therapy for me, that I can get these things off of my chest. Because at City Hall, they don't care what I say. They don't care, because you still have in Fairfield a murdering police officer on the force.
Chief El Pollo
He still
Loco.
got a job?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how I feel. It doesn't matter how many times I cuss you out. It doesn't matter how many times we protest and burn shit down. So to get my anxieties out and my frustrations, I talk about it to other people. Hopefully they hear something. And like we always said, our thing is the cause, being involved, being engaged. If we can get more people engaged, hopefully my Black grandson won't have to carry these mental instabilities with him when he's 50 years old. That's the cause. That's why we do this. That's the mental aspect. We got 400 years of mental oppression. I don't care about physical. We've known, we've been built, if that's what you want to call. We've been built for physical. There's not much you can out physical us on. But the mental aspect, it's been on us. It's been on us, and we've carried it, and we've carried it. And now, like my brother Trey, we got our hands on the plow to make sure our grandchildren don't have to carry these mental burdens.
Facts.
What? You know what?
And
No, Troy. I'll remember it. I'll remember it. I'm not going to list names at the end of the show, but I will remember it because we always and I don't want it to get that we only focus on men. We do focus on women, and I guess the climate. We need to shake that narrative and change this climate so it's level on all playing fields.
next week's show should all be all about women.
I want to get and it will be. And it will, because see, we control this show. And it's going to be it's going to be all women. And what is incredible, because I know, Shannon, we got to wrap it up. Yep. And I think it's important to understand again about the mental aspect. How the words and how the game is played outside to keep us weary mentally. If I listed some names on Facebook this week, you know, we know Breonna Taylor, Sandra Bear, Tamir Rice, Tawana Brawley, Medgar Evers. We know these names. They sit with us. They weigh on us. That mental anguish weighs on us. But what don't we do? What don't we know? What don't we know?
I'll tell you what we don't know and what we don't do. Just resonate on this for a minute. Since 2015, 48 Black women have been murdered at the hands of cops. 48
women.
One is too many. One is too many. 48 is a pandemic. And I said it. But I want to say, Shannon, before I forget, what don't we know about Medgar Evers, Breonna Taylor, Tawana Brawley? What don't we know? What's not seared in our mind every school year? The white American that murdered them. That's what we don't know. Those are the things that should be seared into our mind so we understand and get this anguish out. Just like this whole George Taylor. This is not a George Taylor George Floyd trial. He's not on trial. He was murdered.
Yeah.
Chauvin is on trial. And that's what, you know, when they talk about Martin Luther King, who murdered him? Half America doesn't even know it's a white man that murdered him, right? They want to put Malcolm X and say the Bruz murdered him. Okay, that's still up for debate, but I doubt it. Okay, all of these names that we hold up and we revere on Black History Month, they don't teach who killed us. It's a white American that damn near did most of the murdering. And then when they do try to talk about rambunctious murders and group murders, they say it was a mob. It was a mob. I need you to be more detailed in who this mob is. This mob is white teachers, white principals, white doctors, white lawyers, white store clerks, white college students. That's who that mob is. That's who and we need to teach that. As long as every time you say Martin Luther King, you should say the man that murdered him.
You know what? And that's exactly what we need to do. And we need to play on their playing field. This country, as I've said plenty of times, was devised by criminals. This country is built upon violence. This country is built upon war. So here's the problem, though. When Blacks get armed, when Blacks get engaged and enlightened, and you train them, don't be shocked when they wake up and turn it against you. This is what you trained them to do. They are becoming a product of their own society. Everybody wants to say, well, it was so bad what Timothy McVeigh did. You know what? Honestly, the hell with what he did. He did the same thing our government does every day, in and out.
Facts.
Ruby Ridge. You know, all these people want to say, oh, McVeigh killed kids. Our government has killed kids. Our government has sent American soldiers overseas and killed plenty of kids. What we do in another country is no different. It's still killing. It's still murder.
Well, and isn't that why liberation is tied to anti-imperialism and anti-colonization?
Yes, it is.
It could be, yeah.
Damn. Parmesan
Yeah.
came with the funky cheese on that
You call
one.
that girl Parmesan, you stupid.
Damn,
That was
was
my high school nickname, so I'm fine with it.
that was vicious.
Parmesan.
But
Yeah.
it's true, right? Like
Yeah, it is
everyone's
absolutely
liberation
facts.
is tied to
Right.
getting rid of that. And that's like,
and
No, it is. There hasn't been, and this is one thing that white America has consistently done and has just, I don't understand it, but they forget how they got here.
Mm.
you know what I want white America to
They
do?
forget how they got here.
Kiss
I
my
want them to
ass.
start. I want white America to start telling the truth about Castro.
yes.
Why are you
Oh my
bringing
God,
that?
yes. Cuba's
Hey,
Cuba's
Shannon, you know
thriving
what you
in
said?
COVID.
Shannon, you said what we need to do is face facts, and white America needs to understand how they built it. This was all criminals.
Yeah.
I'm gonna end on a light note before we get to solutions. Hey, yeah, we said we need to get like them. I've been stealing from my employer since I started working at the age of 16. Just believe I get my shit back. You don't want to give me my 48? I'm gonna get my shit one way or the other.
One way or the
Bet that.
other. By
Bet
hook or
that.
by crook,
Bet
this
that.
is going to happen.
Bet that.
On that
Hey,
note,
you keep leaving shit in the refrigerator and keep asking who took my bean dip. Yeah.
You know what?
Anyway.
And I will tell you, we got to have Sarah back with us next week because
bean dip, really? You feeling bean dip?
Bean dip, pimp. I'm hungry,
You
dog.
know,
No
light
meat
skins
this
are bad
week.
man.
No meat this week. I want some bean dip, bro.
This does sound really good.
Yeah, that's your problem.
Man.
So let's do this. Let's do this. I
So
agree with you. Shannon, Sarah's gonna have to come back on the show.
yeah, especially.
Did you enjoy yourself, Sarah?
Yeah, this has been great. You guys are great. I know Smitty from his comments, obviously at council. I'm just as like, we're usually like maybe 3 people apart, which kind of cracks me up because I think they space out like the people who are the firebrands.
Right.
You made Danielle Ravante kind of get spaced out, so there's a little pattern, and I kind of noticed it. Obviously, I love you, Shannon. It's been, lovely having this conversation. I know lovely is like a super white lady word, but
Hey, you know what? You know that just shows white America that we're really not these mean, angry, racist black guys. Look, we have a white lady on today. Come on, people. Come on.
Cut us some slack.
Let me ask you this. No, well, let me ask you this, Sarah.
Oh, go ahead.
Let me ask you real quick. So, because my wife is Italian, so when you go to fill out a form, a job application, I think you know where I'm going with this, Smitty.
Mhm.
The only box there for you to mark is white. Am I correct?
Yeah, it's other or Caucasian, and Caucasian's actually heinously wrong as far as the history of whiteness, but that's a whole other story. Yeah, it's either other or Caucasian. Like, it's annoying.
Why do we have to have them damn boxes on the application?
No, actually, we don't. There's actually legislation that's been trying to get passed to get that taken off, because that having those boxes on there sets up discrimination.
Mm-hmm.
It's an automatic thing. That's why a lot of people get shut down from jobs, apartments, houses.
Well, I think we need affirmative action in schools back. Like, colleges need affirmative action. I'm bummed that it didn't pass last year.
Funny story, real quick, before I bring up solutions. Funny story. I was much younger, and I was trying to get a job at the mall. And you know how it says the check boxes of what your ethnicity is or whatever the case is. I was a smart ass at probably 17 or 18.
No,
so right before the box, and then you have African American or whatever it said, black. I put angry in front of it.
I would hire you, honestly. That sense of
humor.
You
got that job. You coming in. You gotta come in. All right, people. This is where we're at. Solutions. Sarah, this is part end of the show. We get 30 seconds to come up with a solution.
I watched the show. I have a solution, actually.
Go ahead, Sarah.
Sarah, go ahead.
I think that you guys should start a Black man's grief resource group, like a group therapy group, and bring people from the community into your group, and then also partner with some organizations and raise some money for a Black man's therapy fund. find a good Black male therapist and, you know, support some actual mental health growth.
Do you have to be 6'4" to be in this Black men's mental health group?
That's up to you guys. I would not be in that.
I'm sorry, he said 6'4", my bad.
Wait,
My
can we, hey, why don't we get together and create a class on how to be Black?
No, wow.
I know you've got one eager student.
We're gonna Shannon, we're gonna set people up to fail. I promise you that. That class.
Oh, facts, bro.
Yeah.
Facts. That's an
unpassable class. Hey, so before I get up out of here, I gotta say thanks to Miss Sarah for joining us. It was awesome. Miss Sarah is actually going to help us do some live shows in the near future. That's why she was on here to kind of observe us, see how we check. Did Troy just fall? Oh, I was about to
He dropped his phone.
I thought that glass got kind of light. Like, hold on. So yeah, thank you, Miss Sarah. Definitely appreciate your input. It was enlightening, to say the least. My solution for this evening, I would ask you, good folks, if you know a Black family, a young Black family, 20s, they just starting out, tell them don't purchase nothing on credit. I know they want to. Don't purchase nothing on credit. The best credit you can have is hard cash, man. What my boys say, cream, cash rules everything around me. That hard cash, it can get you out of some jams and it can keep you out of some jams. So please get away from credit. Stop, man, cut them credit cards up, pay them off, and let's start dealing with that cold hard cash. Because that elitist group that I was talking about earlier, they got the cold hard cash, and we sitting here befunding ourselves, on credit, on APRs is 29%, 28%, 32%. We ain't never paying that $500 loan back that you went and bought that chain from Durant Square. Get off credit. Get off credit. Put $20 away every payday. Put $50 away. Hey, get away from credit. Cream, baby, cream.
Shannon, you said Durant Square.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Thank you, Sarah, for being with us. I look forward to having you back.
Thanks, you guys. This was actually really fun. I don't mean actually as like I didn't think it was going to be. I just used qualifiers. But no, this is really fun and interesting, and I appreciate and I'm honored. And I believe Smitty gave me one of the best compliments I've ever received. So I'm good.
I'm about to give you another compliment. Anybody that watches our show that needs a history lesson or an English lesson, because she used the word there, and I don't know how many people caught that. Qualifier.
I was thank you, Shannon. Thank you.
So you know what? So my solution, don't believe everything you read in a book. Go out and do the research. We will discuss Guantanamo Bay and Castro and the Bay of Pigs and how he isn't a communist, how America has misled people with their lies. As usual, like they lie about everything else. We will bring it up on one of our shows. People need to know the truth. Accept accountability.
There you go. So my solutions. Okay, Rich, real quick. I love Buck Street. Love it. I'm gonna tell you why.
Some real estate from Greg, Troy.
Yeah,
you want to paint it black? You want to paint it black?
No.
Yeah, let's paint it black.
Well, listen, Buck Street showed me something a long time ago.
Don't let your inner whiteness come out now.
Pay attention. You letting your blackness come around. Be quiet and just pay attention. You might learn something. Buck showed me the meaning of a legacy. Because those houses don't come up for sale too often. Because they have been passed down since the beginning of Vacaville. Buck has shown me what you can actually do if you pay attention and you want to make sure your family name stays strong. That's what
building generational wealth.
You know what? We're going to have a disagreement with that. We're going to have a disagreement with that. And the reason why is because that's their damn legacy. For blacks, it's different. Our legacy is whatever we choose it to be. And our legacy is wealth. a wealth of knowledge and history. Our legacy is what we decide it to be, not what
Oh my God.
white America is shown.
No, I'm gonna
My
go ahead and
legacy,
stop you there.
you know what? No, I'll tell you, in your eyesight, in society's eyesight, because everybody bases everything off of material shit ain't what gets it.
No, it's not. It isn't at all. And I will agree with you there. But you have to have something to build on. We're in a system that, Sarah said it earlier, the system isn't broken. I've been trying to get people to understand the system is working exactly the way it's supposed to.
This whole damn court is out of order.
I knew you was gonna say something stupid. I'm out. I'm done. Oh, and
All
my solution, vote.
Well, there we go. One word kind of sums up a lot of the things that we discussed.
Shannon, you need to come back and end the show, bro.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I hope you're listening. I hope you enjoyed us putting some flavor in your ear. Shout out Craig Mack. We
third hip hop reference tonight.
We represent around here. Thank you, Sarah, for joining us. Good brother Troy, appreciate you. In the beard, good brother Shannon, appreciate you, man. Check us out on YouTube. Please subscribe, click the like, share it with people because it's really informative what we do. Find us on Facebook, Instagram. That's how we get down. Until next week, y'all. It's been real. I'll let you boy.
Later.
Peace.